What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down some big news that just came out overnight involving the Bank of Japan. But let me first mention that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So what's happening with the Bank of Japan? There's some big news coming out that they're not going to be raising rates when the markets are unstable, according to the deputy governor. This is some big news that just came out. What they said is that they're seeing a sharp volatility in domestic and overseas financial markets, and it's necessary to maintain current levels of monetary easing for the time being. This is some big news that just came out because remember, this has a big effect on the US and American investors who were borrowing Japanese money. When they ended up raising rates, we saw a lot of margin calls, and as a result, a lot of Americans they basically had to liquidate their equities here in the US, which is part of why we saw the market dip to kind of pay off their debt. So, as a result of that, what's interesting is with the sharp declines we're seeing in the markets, the Bank of Japan is saying they're not going to be cutting rates. They don't have any more. I'm sorry, they're not going to be raising rates. They don't have any more plans to do so. So that's some big news, at least for the time being. And that's why we start to see the Japanese market rebound and the US markets are now following that trend. That's why the market's now starting to gap up. We got this big dump yesterday at the end of the day, which made it seem like the market was about to dip, only for this big news to come out because what could have been happening is Wall Street knew this news was going to come out. So they started buying the market as it dipped, only to push it back up again. So it's a lot of manipulation that's going on within the markets. There's a 63.5% chance the Fed gives us a 50 basis point cut by September, and a 36.5% chance to get a 25 basis point cut according to the markets. And for earnings, we had Shopify and Disney. Going to try to be quick with this. Shopify beats quarterly revenue estimates on AI Boost, which is good news for them. We also started to see their revenue jump about 21% to about 2.05 billion, and they had strong guidance with good Q3 revenue expectations. Disney, on the other hand, had pretty good stuff overall with some mixed earnings. EPS was a beat at $1.39, and revenue was at 23.16 billion, all above expectations. Operating income was also up about 19% to about $4.22. I'm sorry, 4.22 billion, so above expectations. But some sectors were a little bit slower, such as the fact that their net income slowed down for their theme parks domestically. So, despite that news, that's why the share price is like where it's at right now, kind of flat. I just want to say that some things were really good, some things were not as great. The theme parks weren't doing as well, but their overall streaming services did relatively well, and guidance is pretty good. So I would say it's more good than bad, if anything. So what's happening with the share price for SPY? We have a cup and handle like structure, so it's pretty good, at least thus far. If SPY holds above 528, we do have potential to go all the way up to about 531 to fill our gap and eventually start pushing above 532. If 532 breaks, we'll be looking for 535. But if we turn bearish, we'll be looking at basically 526.8 as support, followed by 525. If 525 breaks, we could fill this gap all the way down towards the 520 area. So I'll be watching that very, very carefully. We have a cup and handle like structure, and this is favoring the upside, especially if we hold above 528. So SPY does favor upside, technically speaking, now, as this is forming a cup and handle. But just for confirmation, watch and see if you hold above 528. If we do, the 530s are easily going to come. So watch and see if you hold 528. That's going to be a very, very key level. Futures are looking pretty good. We're seeing the market uptrending quite nicely. This does look a little bit more bullish after all. This is not a head and shoulders, but now it's trying to invalidate this. So if we break above the 53.50 area on ES, we still have this gap to fill, which could take us all the way up to about the 53.60s, which would help SPY get dragged back up. So it still looks more bullish. So long as we don't lose, by the way, 5,300 flat, we are going to favor upside on ES. For Bitcoin, we're looking a little bit more bullish. As long as we don't lose 56,500, we favor upside, and this will, suggest that 58,000 is a stronger possibility. For other tickers out there, we have Tesla. Tesla's also attempting to rebound. Make sure you look at basically 204 as resistance. If 204 breaks, we'll be looking for a push all the way up towards 208. And if we end up losing support at 200, we'll be dipping all the way back down towards 198 and then 195. If we lose 195, we're bearish. If we break 204, we're bullish. Watch those levels on Tesla. This chart looks like it wants to push a little higher, but just for confirmation, we'll wait and see if this trend continues. Just know we had some good news, so it's looking more promising. For the QQQ, this is attempting to rebound. If we manage to break past resistance at 4 446. I'll be looking for 448 and then eventually 450. If we lose 442, we'll be dipping back down towards 437. The chart is favoring the upside looking at it from a technical standpoint. For Aapl, we need to break past 210 to turn bullish. If we break this, we could try to push higher. If we lose support at 207, we'll be dipping back down towards 205. The chart's favoring upside. For the IWM Russell 2000, this is attempting to hold up. As long as we hold 207, we could be pushing higher. If we lose 205, we'll be dipping back down to fill the gap towards 203. But this chart is favoring upside as long as we're above 207. Let me go over just a few more real quick just to conclude this video. Coinbase is looking more bullish. Watch 198 as resistance. If this breaks, we could be pushing for 202. If we reject, watch 194 as support. If we lose that, we're going to be dipping back down towards the high 180s. For Amazon, we need to break and hold above 165. If we hold 165, I think we could be going up for 168 or higher. If we lose 163, we're going to be dipping back down to fill the gap. We look more bullish, by the way, on Amazon. For Meta, as long as we hold above 500, this has like a cup and handle, and we have a bullish structure. If we break above 500, I could see us pushing all the way up to at least like 510 plus. But if we were to lose 494, make sure you watch 483. If that breaks, we turn back to bearish. This chart is favoring a cup and handle and more potential upside. Finally, for Microsoft, we look more bullish. As long as we don't lose to 403, we favor an upside move towards 410. And then Google's also favoring upside. If we break past 163.5, we favor upside. If we lose 162, we turn back down, but this is favoring upside. All right, that's it for my video. Thank you for listening. Sorry if this is a little bit late. So have a great day, guys. I'll see you in a few hours, and peace out.